Okay, hey everybody, welcome to another episode of On the Wrist from Off the Cuff. Today I want to do a brief follow-up on this beautiful watch here from Brellum. This thing really doesn't get enough love out there, and I just wanted to kind of follow up with, of course, some of my experiences in ownership, and as well as show you kind of a cool update where I actually was able to get a custom strap from Sebastian at Brellum. I basically said, hey, this would be a cool strap for me. Could you produce that? And he was able to produce it. And of course, in that same OEM quality that I got the original straps, in the black and the brown option, I was able to get this really cool gray strap with blue stitching, which really just perfectly ties in, for me at least, with the blue accents and whatnot. And then of course, I think gray is just such a versatile colorway. I'm super happy with it, but I did want to kind of retouch about this watch, about the brand, and why they impressed me so much. So a little bit about the brand. Brellum was founded back in 2015 by Sebastian Mueller. Now, he is basically the fourth generation in the line of watchmaking family that basically dates back to 1885. Now, personally, Sebastian actually has over 25 years of professional experience in the Swiss watchmaking industry. So, I mean, if that tells you anything right there, this is a brand for not only a watch lover, but a watchmaker as well. So this is definitely the true watch geek's watch. Now, of course, these are Swiss made, as you can see. Now, really their tagline is Brellum Swiss Watchmaking is an independent Swiss brand developing, producing, and marketing high-quality timepieces for admirers of exceptional craftsmanship. Now, exceptional craftsmanship, I mean, that's just putting it very nicely. As you can see, when we take a closer look and kind of rotate the watch around, this thing is just so finely crafted. It's just pretty mind-blowing, especially for the price. Now, you know, it's not a cheap watch. Again, this isn't something that you're going to be able to just buy. I mean, most people, I would say, would not be able to just buy a watch like this without saving up or thinking about it or trying. But I don't think it's unattainable by any means. It's well under $3,000. It's actually under 2,500 bucks. So it's just, you know, it's pretty crazy. For around $2,300. This watch, for what it offers, the level of finish, the level of the movement, the fact that it's also COSC certified, and it's a chronometer. This isn't just in-house tuned. This was actually sent out to the COSC, and they actually have an official chronometer certification. So that's just insane. You won't find you know, another watch like this at this price range. You know, as it won't be COSC, it won't have the quality finishing. I mean, I don't think you'll be able to find one that's going to be a chronograph, honestly, at this price point. So it's just insane what you can get. And then also, not only does this, because there are some micro brands that are out there and they just check the boxes. They check boxes. They say, does it have sapphires? Is it stainless steel? Does it have solid end links? You know, they check all the boxes. They give you something, then kind of a vanilla package, and they charge you fair money for it, and it's a good deal. And those types of watches, they're great. They're great watches, and you've seen tons of them on this channel. But one thing that I think Brellum does differently is that not only does it check the boxes as far as, you know, what you need in a modern watch, it does it and then some. It doesn't just give you a sapphire crystal, it gives you a box dome sapphire. It doesn't give you one, it gives you two. It doesn't just give you an accurate movement, it gives you a chronometer tuned movement. So it's just insane. So this thing is just gorgeous. I love it. It's definitely one of my favorite pieces. I feel like Brellum, they're kind of part of what I would consider the new micro brand Holy Trinity, along with Monta watches as well, and another brand which I will be mentioning and adding to in greater detail later on once I have kind of all three watches from those brands respectively in hand, but I think that they kind of all have this commonality in that they're offering something just so outstanding, and it's not for that much more money than you would spend for, let's say, a gray market name brand. A gray market Tag or a gray market Baume & Mercier. Now, you're for around the same money you'd pay for them gray market with like no warranty whatsoever. You're gonna get this watch directly from the manufacturer. You're gonna get like a handwritten postcard, and it's just amazing. Which you're gonna be part of a community of like-minded folks who just love these pieces. And for some people, it's the most expensive watch they've ever purchased, and for some people, it might be the cheapest watch they've ever owned. But they still love it, and they'd love to show pictures in the group and show their whole collection of how they've gotten every variant, every color. And these guys, they're not used to lower end pieces, and that's it by no means a lower end piece. It's just such a great value. I think it impresses really up and down the ladder, which is why I wanted to do this follow-up. So let's go ahead and get a wider shot here and take a closer look. Okay, let's go ahead and get this in hand. And as you can see here, I mean, just look at the way the color plays here. Let's go ahead and get this beautiful chronograph going there. You can see that blued seconds hand on the chronograph. It's tough for the light to catch it without getting too much reflection, because this is, as you can see though, it does have some great AR coating, but the dial itself is very silver and reflective. And then of course the studio lights are definitely going to give more reflection, but I wanted to catch that blue tone on the seconds hand there. Just see how it's perfectly matched to the stitching here. So for me, this strap is, of course, just a little bit more sporty, a little bit more versatile for what I wear. I mean, this is something I can wear with a pair of blue jeans. And I think it just wears really well. And, man, this thing, just the colors, the accents, everything just really ties in really well. But then look at these bevels. Look at that finishing. Swiss made. All the way. I mean, there's just, and I've worn this piece to some really high-end boutiques out in Orange County, out in South Coast Plaza and everything. And I gotta say, I go into places and people want to know more about this piece. I mean, the guys at the IWC boutique were just floored with this thing, and it's funny. Of course they're used to larger watches, so there was a little bit more of an appreciation, larger sporty watches, and this is a bit of a larger sporty watch. I mean, it's at 41.8 millimeters, it's just shy of 42 millimeters, which I think is a perfectly great size for a chronograph. Of course, you're gonna have all this extra information on the dial. You're going to want to be able to see that, and it has to be readable. So you're going to want that. You're going to need a slightly bigger case to it. So for me, it's definitely not an issue. And then, with the fact of how thick and tall this thing is, if it was any smaller, it would just look like it would look definitely like a little bit too tall and probably a little bit more bulbous. But I think these lines are just super sleek. Super just dialed in, just nicely done. I mean, and these movements, watches with the 7750, they're not thin watches generally. So I mean, the fact that this watch is still actually pretty par for the course as far as thickness goes, that's just 16.2 millimeters. There are watches that are that thick that don't have huge domed crystals on them. They don't have one, let alone two. So I mean, even if you took these out, this thing would be a lot thinner. I mean, there are actually dive watches that are thicker than this, that are just three hands, that don't have all this movement. And this movement is just, look at that, it's basically sitting in that beautiful sapphire there on the back. Gorgeous. Let's just appreciate some of that there, some of that goodness. This thing is just beautifully done. I can't, it's tough, this is my personal watch, and I pulled the trigger on it. It's definitely one of the more expensive watches I've ever purchased, but at the same time, it's been one of the most rewarding. I love this piece. It's an occasion when this is on your wrist. You know, it's something that's a conversation piece. At the same time, it's also something that just, you know, mechanically is pretty awe-inspiring just on an execution level. Even if you're not a watch fan and you just like quality things, you know, you're into high quality pocket knives, pens, whatever else it is, you know, luxury vehicles, you can understand that there's a level of luxury to this piece. This is truly the definition of an entry-level luxury timepiece. It's entry-level, I'd say, because of the price. It is more accessible, but this is definitely done to a luxury standard, and a luxury standard goes above and beyond. You know, it just goes beyond did it have to be this good? No, again, there's plenty of brands that check the box, but they're not luxury. There's nothing luxury about them. Here, just the level of finish, the quality, the attention to detail, the simplicity in design. I mean, this is something that, yeah, sure, it's a chronograph. There's only so many, you know, dial configurations and arms, hands, colors, all these things you can put out there. And this definitely is more of a purist watch. It has that kind of mid-century aesthetic to it. Very simple, very clean. But it just does it in such a great way. It's not paying homage to anything. It's really just a gorgeous, functional, classy piece that just performs. So let's go ahead and get this on wrist. All right, as you can see, wears beautifully on my 7¼ inch wrist there. You know, this is not a small watch. It's not meant to be a small watch, but I would definitely not consider this oversized. And there actually, of course, are still a large demographic of people that are out there looking for larger watches. So, you know, maybe some guys that aren't even too much into timepieces can appreciate this. And I haven't had any direct contact with, I'd say, any non-watch people necessarily when I wear this piece, because it's something that, you know, I don't, although I probably could wear it every day due to the colorway and kind of my wardrobe and what I normally wear. It's, for me, it's just, again, it's more of a special watch I wear on a special occasion. It's really something that I look forward to talking about as a conversation piece. And I think you can easily see why. And yeah, you know, it's not super flat, super thin, super small. That's not what it's here to be. It's just more than that. It's not just a gimmick of this is a thin watch, so it equals that it's a better watch. It's, you know, it's actually thinner than quite a few 7750 powered movements, but it also offers so much more than that. Look at that beautiful that box dome sapphire is just gorgeous. The way the light plays with it, and it's still very readable. I mean, really the only distortion's at the very edge of that transition, as you can see here, just at the very edge. Everything else is still very readable at angle. And yeah, I mean, this thing is just gorgeous. Of course, it's going to look, you know, a lot bigger up here, you know, close up like that, because there is a little bit of distortion from the way the lens is going to pick things up that are close to it. But you can get a better idea down here, kind of how this is going to wear. Really fantastic watch, and I just love it so much. And especially, you know, with this custom strap on there, I just think it just gives it more of a little bit more character, a little bit sportier. You know, I think the original designs, of course, although very pleasing to the eye, you know, they're a little bit more Spartan with that mid-century look, a little bit cleaner. And I think this just, the addition of this custom strap, you know, from Brellum, really just gives a little bit more character, a little bit more sportiness, and yeah, and it doesn't look tacky. You know, it still has the curved, you know, the curved ends there, which really butt up next to the case really nicely. But still add comfort. It's not, you know, super flush mounted or anything like that. It just looks natural and it flows. And I just couldn't be more pleased with this piece. And I'm really happy again to take a little bit of time to share my feelings with this watch with you guys. But let's go ahead and move on to a couple of lume shots for you and get some closing thoughts. Okay, let's go ahead and hit the lights. All right, again, this is no lume beast. All right, it's not a dive watch. It's not a field watch. It is a chronograph, and an exceptional one at that. But let's go ahead and move into the low light transition, just so you guys can see how the light plays on this piece. Just gorgeous, and you can see how the light also dances right off of the fine finishing, the brushing on the dial. And of course, if you guys want a more in-depth review, you know, go ahead and check out the original review. We go way more into the specs and the details of the watch. This one was more of a follow-up. Really, I just wanted to kind of highlight a couple things about it, and of course share this beautiful new strap option for you. There's been a lot of questions every time I post pictures of this watch. Where did I get the strap? You know, this and that. And yeah, I just ordered it from Brellum. I said, hey, this would be cool. Can you guys do that? And they said, yeah. And here's how much it costs. So, and it eventually shipped out to me very nicely from Switzerland, because of course everything on this piece is Swiss made and luxurious, and to a level where if it didn't say Swiss made on the dial, it would just make no sense. Like, you would freak out. Are there other places that can produce quality? Of course there are. But honestly, this is just at a level to where it makes sense. It just fits. Sometimes you see Swiss made on the dial and you don't really see where it was. It's more of a technicality. For me, this really just lives up to the whole package when it comes to something that is Swiss made, and the kind of feeling and the assurance that gives you. Again, I have tons of watches, German made watches, Japanese watches, nothing against them at all. It's not a knock against things that aren't Swiss made, but it's just, there's something about the Swiss made watch that is just special, and it's still special today. And it's not the end all be all, but when I see things like this, you know, that are executed to this fine level, it just again reassures that kind of Swiss quality, and where that brand came from, and the idea that if something is Swiss made, that equals something pretty amazing. So from that regard, you know, Sebastian at Brellum is carrying on a great legacy, more than just his family name. He's carrying on just a great tradition of the general Swiss made quality timepiece. So again, if you guys wanted a little bit more detail, a little bit more about the stats, specs, whatever, definitely check out the original video. It's posted. I'll try to leave a link to it or something if that helps out. But you know, on the wrist, feels great, not too bulbous. It definitely doesn't feel oversized. More summary. You know, comparable models. There are definitely many 7750 powered chronos, but nothing at, I'd say, even twice the cost that are going to compare to this level of fit and finish. So, you know, that's yeah, $5,000. A $5,000 chronograph. Find one that is better finished than this. Also, hey, find one that's a chronometer as well, COSC certified, and post it in the links below in the comments if you can think of one. And I'm not talking about gray market either. I'd say gray market's comparables as far as pricing goes. This is better finished for watches in the same price range. But you know, if you can get something that's $7,000 or $8,000 and gray market it for around $5,000, it probably would be pretty comparable to this. But I mean, think about that. The gray market price at around maybe $5,000 is that's a maybe. Maybe you can find something. Maybe you can find a Breitling, you know, for that much. But we're talking brand new from the factory, from the maker himself, from the man behind it, the man with the heart and soul in his design. You can purchase the piece and, you know, and keep that industry going, keep it alive. And I think that's just something really special, to kind of be a part of that. And that's what I really enjoy about these kind of smaller niche brands, because they're able to offer something. And again, you just have I feel like it's just a more satisfying purchase, because you know that your money is going to the product and not to marketing the product. Really, this watch speaks for itself. It doesn't need a YouTube video or some fancy commercial with, you know, Tom Brady riding a horseback wearing this watch. That doesn't add value to the watch. What adds value to the watch are all the fine details. It's the design, the execution, the finished product, the excellent customer service, the being open to customize and work with you and remember who you are, and send you a card on your birthday if they need to. So just really cool brand. I just been really impressed with them, and I feel like they're making all the right moves. I'm really looking forward to what they produce next. Of course, I did recently review their newest model, which was the Pan Dial chronograph, which is just gorgeous. Panda dial with the tachymeter bezel on the outside. So really cool. I'm looking forward to seeing what's next from them, because really, for me, at the level of execution, even if I wasn't totally on board with the design, I wouldn't be able to resist the execution level. I mean, it's that good. And then the fact that I actually like their design aesthetic just tops it all off. So this is just amazing value for what you get. I mean, just even at bullet points. COSC certified automatic chronograph. Luxury level of finishing, not often found at watches that cost around $5K. If it's ever found at watches that cost $5K. I'd say this is definitely more comparable to the $7,000 and $8,000 range. So if you don't agree with that, leave a comment. I'd love to hear more. I'd love to get the conversation going about this watch, because I just love it so much. And it's just a personal favorite of mine. And, it's nice to share these kind of things with you guys. If you're on the fence, if you're looking for something that maybe fits those criteria for you, if you're looking for just the ultimate value prop in Swiss made, chronographs, here you go. I mean, this is a useful complication. It's not like a moon phase, which is or a perpetual calendar. They're I guess they're kind of useful, but this you could just use at any time. And then also it even has pleasure in the function. It's not just something you're gonna read. You have a tactile response, a mechanical interaction with it. You're pressing the gear levers, and for me, that's the real draw of a mechanical timepiece, is really that interaction and the build quality, just the mechanical heart behind it. It's a little steampunk in a lot of ways, in that it's just kind of old technology that still is powering through and thriving today. At least in this fashion. I think there's definitely companies that are probably struggling because they're outside of, I think, the market. To me, I think there's a huge market for watches like this, and I hope there continues to be, because I'd love to see a brand like this expand and do more. All right, guys. So if you like this little rant and rave video, please do hit like if you made it through, and if you haven't already, please subscribe for more content just like this. Thanks, guys. Bye.